His breathing stopped for just 3 seconds, but it felt like the whole world froze. In that silent moment, no one knew if Mark Consuelos would ever open his eyes again. The monitors beside him stayed still, waiting, just like the people around him. Fear filled the air like a heavy weight, pressing on every heart in the room. This wasn't just a scare. This was real. And it all started with one strange feeling he ignored that very day. Stay with us, and if you care about moments like these, please like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional stories. It started as a normal morning. Mark woke up feeling a little tired, but he brushed it off as nothing. His wife noticed he was quieter than usual, but he smiled and said he was fine. He walked slowly, feeling a strange pressure in his chest, like something heavy was sitting there. He tried to drink some water, but his hands were shaking. He told himself it was just stress, maybe too much work, too little sleep. But deep inside, he knew something felt different. His breathing was not steady. Each breath felt like climbing a hill. When he tried to speak, his voice sounded weak, like it was fading. His wife looked at him with worry in her eyes. She asked if he wanted to rest, but before he could answer, he felt dizzy. The room started spinning, and he had to hold onto the table to stay standing. His heart was beating fast, but he felt cold. He didn't want to scare anyone, so he said he needed fresh air. But when he stepped outside, his vision blurred. His legs felt heavy, and a sharp pain hit his chest. In that moment, he knew something was truly wrong. He tried to walk back inside, but his legs felt weak, and he collapsed to his knees. His wife ran to him, calling his name, but he couldn't answer right away. His breathing was slow, then fast, then slow again. It felt like his body couldn't decide what to do. Sweat covered his forehead, even though the air was cool. He looked at his wife, and for the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. She grabbed her phone and called for help. He could hear her voice shaking, telling the ambulance that he couldn't breathe right, that something was happening to his heart. He wanted to tell her he would be okay, but the words wouldn't come out. He felt cold, even though she was holding his hand. When the paramedics arrived, they lifted him onto a stretcher. The world around him looked blurry. Lights, voices, hands moving fast. He heard someone say, "Stay with us. Keep breathing. Don't close your eyes." He tried to focus, tried to listen, but his mind felt far away. Each breath felt like pulling air through a narrow straw. He heard his wife crying, but he couldn't turn his head. His chest felt tight, and every heartbeat felt heavy, slow, painful. They rushed him into the ambulance. The siren was loud, but inside it felt quiet, like everything was slowing down. He looked up at the ceiling, wondering if this would be the moment he would let go. He kept holding on. When they reached the hospital, the doors flew open and doctors rushed in. They moved him into the ICU, where bright lights and cold air filled the room. They placed wires on his chest, and the machines began to beep, fast, slow, then fast again. His breathing was shallow, and his eyes were half open, but he could not speak. A doctor called out numbers, another called for more oxygen, and his wife stood in the corner, silent, with tears running down her face. Mark could hear the beeping. It sounded like a heartbeat, but it wasn't his. His own heart felt like it was slowing down. He could feel the air slipping away. One breath, then another, then nothing. In that moment, everything felt still. The room stopped. The machines made one long, sharp sound. His chest was not moving. His skin turned pale. Doctors rushed to his bedside. One said, "He's not breathing." Another said, "Stay with us, Mark." They pressed on his chest, counting, calling his name. His wife held her hands to her mouth, praying he would open his eyes. Seconds felt like minutes. Minutes felt like forever. No blinking, no heartbeat. Just that awful sound ringing through the room. Then a tiny movement, a slight twitch in his finger. A small breath, weak but real. The beeping changed. The room filled with new hope. But no one dared speak. They didn't know if it was enough. Everyone watched, breathless, waiting for a sign of life. They moved him to a quiet room, and the machines stayed close by, ready for another sign of danger. His wife sat beside him, holding his hand, her eyes red from crying. She whispered to him, telling him to fight, to come back, to not let go. He could not answer. His eyes stayed closed, his body still, but there was a faint rise and fall in his chest, soft and unsure. Doctors said they would have to wait. Hours, maybe days, and in that silent room, no one knew if he would ever wake up again. Not even hope.